Welcome, mindful parents. In today's video, I'll be talking about special time. Why is it important and how can we do it? Dr. Laura Markham refers to special time as preventative maintenance. Why? Because it's that time where you reconnect with your child. It's a one-on-one interaction. It's only you and your child, and you fill up their cup. As research in the early childhood field say that developmentally, almost all misbehavior is a result of a disconnect. So when we make sure that we have special time with our children, we are filling up their cup. We are reassuring them that we love them and that they are secure. And when we have this bond with them and we reassure them that we're always there to support them, no matter what they're feeling and no matter what they're doing, we decrease the amount of tantrums that happen. Step number one. Special time doesn't have to be an afternoon or a whole outing with your child. It could be 10 minutes. If you're going to come to me and argue that you do not have any time and you cannot give your child 10 minutes, I would say 5 minutes. However, I want to ask you a question first. How long do you sit down looking on your phone, scrolling through Instagram, Facebook, or YouTube? Or how long do you sit down and chat and call your friends or your family? My point here is that you can squeeze 5 to 10 minutes, not every day, but try your best every other day with your child. Step number 2 is set a timer, and this time call it by its name. You can call it Layla and Mommy time or Bilal and Mommy time. So call it with your child's name. It makes it really special and they feel that it is fully just their time. So, warning. Plan extra couple of minutes after special time for tantrums. Because most likely, especially at the beginning when you first start special time, your child will not want the time to end. They would want to continue on playing and they would want more special time. So there might be tantrums, crying and screaming, not wanting to end the special time. And really, you can't blame them, because who would want their time to end with the special person that they've been waiting for a really long time to sit down and have this connection time? So what I'm trying to say is that it is normal for your child to cry and to feel that they didn't want this time to end. Keep in mind, this is not the time for you to say, well, I just spent 10 minutes with you. You should be grateful for the time that I took out of my schedule to sit down with you. And it's definitely not the time to say, well, if you do this, I will never sit down with you and have special time again. Stop. What you need to do is listen. Let them cry it out. Sit down by them and tell them, I know. Wouldn't it be nice for me to just be with you all day long? I can see that you're really sad. What you're doing is you're acknowledging their feeling. You are putting words into their thoughts and feelings. So the thing with crying is that it is amazing. It releases a lot of that tension and stress that the child is building up inside them. So when you see your child crying, be happy. Know that all that energy and stress or anxiety or whatever they're feeling, whatever their backpack is full with, is being released. What you need to do is just sit down and listen. Show them that you are there, present, and listening to them cry until they feel better. It's definitely not the time for you to try and fix things or lecture. It's simply the time where you will sit down calmly and let your child cry it all out and be there supporting them. You can even say things like, I know, I am looking forward for our next time, our special time together again. Can you wait for that? I can't wait. Show them that you also want to spend time with them and have that special time with them. Now make sure that you do not extend the time. When you set the timer at the beginning, you need to stick to that timer. You need to stick to the 10 minutes or 15 minutes that you have set at the beginning. Do not extend the time. This would work against what we are trying to develop with the child, and becomes a power struggle, and becomes that the child is going to do it every single time to be able to get extra minutes. So when the timer ends, the special time ends, and you're there just comforting your child until they feel better to move on to the next thing. Step number 3 is ask your child what they would like to do during this special time. It's not your time to decide what type of game or what type of play that you want to play. It's the child's turn to tell you what they would like to do. Keep in mind, it does not mean screen time. So special time is a time where you need to connect with each other and play together. It is not time for you to sit down with your child and watch a screen. Step number 4 is aim to let your child laugh. Laughter releases a lot of stress. It releases a hormone in the brain where if there's any tensions, it's like crying, it gets released through laughter. So aim for games like tag, where you're running around trying to catch your son or your daughter. Another game that my husband used to play and my kids used to love is a robot, where when they would say the word robot, my husband would all of a sudden turn into a robot, and he would walk like a robot, talk like a robot, trying to get them, and they would laugh and they thought it was hilarious. Another game that you can play, and I played that with my second son and he always asks for it, and it's an earthquake game where he sits on me and I start shaking all of a sudden from side to side, trying to get him to fall down, and then I would cool down, then all of a sudden an earthquake will be coming again, and I would start shaking, going side to side, and trying to get him to fall down. So anything, you can create any game. I actually still remember when we used to play hide and seek with my parents, especially my mom, and we never forget that game. And it's the same thing with your children. Have those games which are a little bit more physical, which will get them to laugh. You can say jokes, silly things, speak in a funny way. Anything that would get your child laughing and yourself laughing is what's going to fill up his cup during that time. So sometimes we're not in the mood of playing physically and running after our kids and doing all these things. I completely understand and I completely can relate. Here's what I have to say. I sometimes don't feel like doing it, but the first thing I try to do to get myself into the mood is put a smile on my face, even if it was a fake one. And you will be surprised by how much better you feel after you've released that energy in you and your child. Laughter does really make you feel better, not only your child, but also you. I have experienced this firsthand, and I can tell you that after I was done special time, I was like, thank goodness I had special time with my child. Step number 5 is plan it. It's a much higher chance that when you plan it and you put it in your schedule, that you will actually do it. If you plan to do it every single day, which is amazing, but not everybody can do that, aim to do it every other day or 3 times a week. When we plan it and put it with something that we already do, let's say the morning routine or evening routine or before dinner time, we've connected it to something that we can remember. And when we connect a new ritual or a new routine that we would like to establish in our life, when we connect it to something that we're already doing, there's a higher chance that we would do it. Remember to do whatever works for you and for your family and for your children. If you are not able to do any special time, make sure you give extra hugs, that you connect with your child through hugging them and cuddling with them, even if it was for a minute. I really hope you found those tips helpful. Let me know in the comments below if you had any special time with your own parents, and what were your favorite games that you played with your own parents. Remember to create peace at home for a peaceful world.